Awesome, guys. So first off, I want to kick off this conversation with Andre Forward. Go ahead, Andre, hop on.
Come on.
All right, perfect, man. So first thing is first, what we want to talk about is John Hancock. We had our account rep here in the Atlanta office last week, Thursday, and he was able to give us just a little bit of breakdown about the product that they offer, which is a phenomenal product. And I want Andre just to kind of give a little quick summary and any other tips that he learned about the John Hancock platform or their product. And he just dropped our rep's contact information in the chat in case you do want to reach out and introduce yourself. But go ahead, Andre.
All right. Hey, everybody. So yeah, I just dropped his information. Jeff, he's a cool guy. He wants everybody to have his information. And if we got any questions about John Hancock, he says, feel free to reach out to him. But yeah, he was in the office Thursday talking about the Simple Term product with John Hancock. That's the only product we really sell with him. Term product. So I guess just some features of the product. It's anywhere from a 10 to a 30-year term, and it goes up to $500,000. Simplified issue. And so if you don't know what simplified issue is, that's no blood, no urine, no doctor, just the MIB check. So that's great from the ages of 20 up to 60. So I do $500,000. Now the policy, it does have a ROP on it, a return of premium for the 25 and the 30-year term. And so it's 75%. So a little bit more than the 50% with America, a little less than 100%. So that's still a great return of premium, 75%. So he was saying for appointments, if you're not appointed with John Hancock, it's simple. You can do it right on their website, which is jhsimpleterm.com. I guess and he said as soon as you go in and any information there, they'll start the background check. So he was saying it's like a day turnaround right now for appointments if you're not appointed already. He also talked about some of the underwriting niches with the with John Hancock product and how they have one of the easiest applications. It's only an 18 question, all knockout questions. So very simple application. Some things that stood out with me with the underwriting is they're very lenient on the build. Now, one thing, I didn't get the exact height and weight, but they're very lenient on the build versus other term products. They're very lenient with diabetes. They will approve someone with type 2 taking insulin as long as they were diagnosed after the age of 30. So that's amazing.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. They're lenient with hepatitis A, B, and C. Also Crohn's disease. Bipolar. So if you're bipolar, you can still qualify. Except if you've attempted suicide, they're not gonna mess with you. But if you're just bipolar, they'll take you. As well as sleep apnea. And he said two other ones that are pretty specific to them is ulcerative colitis. They won't kick you out because of that. And also they don't check, they don't ask any questions about marijuana. Okay. And because this product is an automatic approval or decline, it's fully automated, no underwriters involved, so you can't call. If the decision is decline, it's just decline. You got to wait 12 months to apply again. And so that's one thing they're not lenient on because there are no underwriters. But he was saying that it would be great for telesales because of the simple application and the immediate decision. Also, they're now offering a 5% bonus on your issue paid numbers. So the last period began July and it goes through December 31st. So if you write at least $15,000 of business, you'll get a 5% bonus at for every 6 months. So the next period starts January 1st. So we still have time right now to earn that 5% bonus. And so, I mean, 15K or more, that's great. I think Americo is what, 45,000?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So he was saying, yeah, we might not get that 8% like Americo does, but all you got to write is 15,000. And so I'm with the same placement and persistency rates as Americo. So that's pretty standard. Another feature that he was saying would probably help with placement and persistency is enrolling clients into the Vitality program that they have. It's a rewards program for the clients. It takes like 2 or 3 minutes to register them after you finish the application. Hey, Jody, the face amount, it goes up to $500,000. Yeah, so you enroll them into Vitality. It's free for them, and they get the chance to win like a free Fitbit or a lot of other fitness apps that are free on there to help them stay fit and active. They have the option of getting an Apple Watch. It's like $25. It's just like little incentives that they do to keep the clients on the books. And let me see what else to put on here. Shoot, that's about it. That's everything I wrote down. So yeah, if you wanna get in touch with him, his number's in the chat.
Perfect, man. And the great thing too, with all these carriers, you can go directly for all the product training. Jody, to your question, you going in to the platform J8 Simple Term. j8simpleterm.com. All the product details are on there. The underwriting guide is on there. So that way you can see all the conditions that they will accept or not accept. And all the product features as far as minimum age requirements and all of that stuff. So great product. It's funny, a lot of times what I used to do in a mortgage protection appointment, I'd write 2 products. I'd write a cashback term with Americo, and then I'd write a simplified issue term, non-cashback with John Hancock. So the way I would position it is, hey, this takes care of your mortgage and this takes care of your life insurance. So I'm getting 2 products in the same house. And I would let them know about the $25 Apple Watch, because a lot of people, like the Apple Watches, and that's an extra benefit that kind of ties them in, especially if you have somebody that's fitness related. So thanks for sharing that, Andre. Check it out. Great product. Reach out to them if you have any questions. And I believe, and then, Cameron just wrote $15,000 bonus or 5% bonus for the $15,000 or more. And that, was that a quarterly thing? What was the time frame on that, Dre? You remember?
6 months. So it started July and it ends December 31st. Then it starts again in January to June. Okay,
so it just goes based on the calendar.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Bostic, it covers non-medical. And yes, 75% CBO option for 25 and 30 year. That's correct. So you guys can go. This is a window cleaner outside my window. It scared me for a second. So imagine you see somebody drop down by your window. You're like, wait. Sorry, guys. You might hear him in the background. Man, this is an interesting job. I gotta show this to you.
I was wondering what that was. I was like, I heard a thud.
Y'all see that? Yeah. And we think calling people is tough. It's like 48 degrees outside, and this guy is doing what he needs to do to provide for us. Kudos to you, my man. So let's get into this case study here. with Cameron. So what we're going to do next, grab a pen and paper. We're just going to run through Cameron's weekend numbers. Thanks again, Dre, for sharing that information about John Hancock. So with the case study, what we look at is, okay, what appointments you had, sales that you made, and how we, were able to place a client with the right product. So let's kick it off. I know, Cameron, first of all, you took a quick vacation with your fiance. You guys went to a wedding, enjoyed some time, took a couple of days out of the field. And what I admire about you is just the discipline. It's like, hey, this is my job, so I'm back to work. So Thursday, you were back on the phones bright and early. I think you said you knocked out about the dials or so. What was it on Thursday?
Yeah, it was probably around 300 or so, give or take. Could have been a little more, a little less, but somewhere around about 300.
Okay, awesome, man. And so you were able to book, I think, a total of 12 appointments for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and run those appointments. Looks like you sat with about 5 of those appointments and did 5 applications.
That's about right. That's right.
Okay, awesome. So let's kick it off with Thursday. You mentioned you did a referral appointment with Ina. So she had a client she needed some help with, and you were able to help her with writing that policy. So tell us a little bit about that one first.
For sure. Well, firstly, thanks for having me on, Jermaine. It's just an honor to be on here, brother. So I appreciate you allowing me to come on and do this case study, and I hope it helps the agency. But I really grateful and consider it an honor, man. Privilege to be here. Yeah.
Cheers, bro.
Definitely, bro. Starting off Thursday night, we had a phone appointment with my partner Ina, and she's been amazing. My lights cut out, so don't mind.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like going to sensor lights. Yeah, that's why I'm always doing this motion here. It's not my rotator cuff. I just got to keep the lights on. But yeah, so I had a great phone appointment with a referral from Ina.
Okay, got it. Tell us a little bit about that client.
Great guy.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. Yeah, great guy, solid guy, about 40 years old. And okay. He's a professional barber, has his own barber business, and he's also in real estate. He's a real estate broker, works in that field.
Yeah.
Does pretty well for himself. Was looking to just very interested in the benefits of the Universal Life Express type of product, where he could put some away, build some cash value, get some tax write-off, and be able to do some different neat things that he wants to do with his money as it comes in. So awesome, good stuff. And that's a good point, guys. If you know, or if you know anyone, like if you get your hair cut, you get your hair done, however you get it done. My barber has a policy with me, right? And that's one of the things where I talk about the people that you interact with. I didn't even mention that one. That's one we all interact with. We either have a hairstylist or a barber or beautician, whatever you want to call them. So they should have a policy with you, because if you're giving them your money every month, like I do, you need to be putting some of that back in my pocket. And you need protection, of course, but one hand wash the other. Right, but, for sure. And they're a good candidate for business as well, because they interact with a lot of people. So, sharing the opportunity with them. But that product specifically, somebody that's self-employed, especially if you have clients that are self-employed, that Mutual of Omaha, get the cash value, the illness benefits, and the coverage amount as well. And what was his main need? Was he just trying to have something to build up, or was he trying to make sure he had enough to leave behind for his family? It was a little bit of both. He has his wife, so he's looking to protect his wife and the family, but then also definitely looking to build cash value, and was interested in all the different features that a universal life type of product and coverage would provide for him for his different financial goals. Okay, awesome. Mm-hmm. So great product to meet that need, the Index Universal Life with Mutual of Omaha. Good stuff. And so that one, you were able to help get him in place.
on Thursday night. So that was the end of Dow Day. Got one in on Dow Day. That's always nice. Get a good head start
Yeah,
to the
yeah, man. It was 9 p.m. too. I said,
Oh wow.
I had already ate dinner and I was kind of tired, honestly. I was sitting on the couch at home, kind of decompressing, with
That's
TV.
awesome, man.
And but I was like, hey, I got this guy. He's ready to go. He really wants some coverage. I was like, all right, come on, let's do it. So we just hopped on and got it done.
Okay, awesome, good stuff. All right,
Yeah.
and then Friday you had a total of 8 appointments, and you did 3 policies on Friday. So let's talk about those. We could go in the order they occurred. Who was the first client?
So my first client, older lady by the name of Linda. She's about 74 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, funny old lady, just full of joy, lots of laughs. We got there. Her son was there. He's middle-aged guy in his 40s, and talked story with him a little bit. He's like a carpenter, does some handiwork.
Yeah.
So she came outside, had a nice little bench out there. We sat on the porch and started just connecting, just chopping up, just trying to find the need there. And she disclosed to me that she had actually canceled a couple of whole life policies. And now she was in a position where she knew that she at least needed to have cremation covered. So after I found the why, was able to go over what she had canceled. I found out that she canceled an America whole life policy. And
Oh,
she,
wow.
yeah. And she also canceled another policy. I can't remember the name of the carrier, but her agent was out of the business. So said
Gotcha.
she was trying to reach out to him, but couldn't get in touch with him. So I was just able to find that need, pinpoint the why, and find the importance of it, and then kind of go over the benefits with her, which a lot of them, honestly, she didn't understand what she actually had. She didn't understand the benefits of the whole life and how it builds cash value and how it has the living benefits and how it doubles in accidental death, just to name a couple of things.
Okay.
So I was really able to kind of slow down with her and unpack that. And then she was like, wow, I didn't know these things. And so she really understood that it was important for her to get reapproved for something. So we ended up writing her a Mutual of Omaha Living Promise. Got her covered there for at least a cremation.
Awesome, good stuff. And you made a good point. I'm trying to share my screen here again one more time because I want to show this to everybody. In the knowledge library, we have the final expense product benefits, I believe is where we have it. So this is under the in-home section. There's a ton of stuff in here that you could use, but under the product benefits, sorry guys, the internet's really slow here today. But under the product benefits, we have the final expense benefit sheet. And whenever I'm going over a final expense product, I utilize this sheet to be able to explain these benefits to the client, so they have something you can look at, right? It's one thing where you tell them, and that's okay. But if you're pointing to it and they're able to read it, they're hearing you say it, they're reading it, they're processing it to a whole nother level. And it's that whole concept of, instead of just saying, hey, here's a steak with some potatoes, but if you're able to say, hey, this is a fillet, it's the most tender cut, and we're going to top it with some whatever, and we're going to serve you garlic mashed potato with some truffle, whatever. Now that's a little bit more appetizing. You're like, yeah, I'll pay $100 for that.
Right.
So that's what it's all about.
For sure.
And so this product guide, benefits guide, if it ever loads, there we go. So this is what I go over. And it just covers everything about the client, about the product to the client. So make sure you guys are utilizing that. I print it out and I have a couple copies with me, and I just go over it line by line, so that way they understand the benefits that's included in the product.
Yeah, definitely, Jermaine, to your point, that benefit sheet right there is a major key. And I always like to tie that into every appointment, just because, like you said, there's something about being able to pull up that sheet and really just walk through all those different benefits, those main benefits there, and points to help the client to see the value of the kind of coverage that we're helping them apply for. So,
yeah, 100%, man. And then, okay, perfect. So you were able to help her with Mutual of Omaha, with the Living Promise product, which is their whole life product, goes up to 40,000 in coverage.
40,000.
Perfect. Got instant decision on that?
got an instant approval on that. Was able to congratulate her. Took a photo with her. That was actually, I think that was the one I dropped in the WhatsApp with the little
Oh,
dog.
yeah. I did see
Yeah,
that. That's awesome.
yeah. So
Yep.
yeah, that was a good appointment. She was happy, and we got her taken care of. So
And then the lead, what type of lead was that?
that was actually internet lead, new internet life lead there.
New Internet Life lead, the ones that are on discount right now, 45% off for WorkSpots members. That's awesome. All right, good stuff. And then let's touch on the next client you had. Great job with that one.
Thank you. So next client was Cheryl. Cheryl was just going through a lot, and she needed some whole life. She's getting up there in age, I think in her early 60s, late 50s. And she had just had a divorce recently and went through some major health issues. She had a couple of mini strokes, and she was just really in a tough position financially as well, on a fixed income, actually in between jobs applying for Social Security. So I had to really slow down with that one and just really find the need. And at the core of the need was her desire just to make sure that when she dies, there's something in place for her burial. So that was a final expense appointment there. And I was able to work with her, find some coverage there with Americo, and get her a small policy as well.
Okay, good stuff. And double Americo, the Eagle Premier product, right?
Yeah, it was an Eagle Premier, but we actually had to go guaranteed because the timing of the strokes was fairly recent. So she was looking for a cremation, so we just put about 5,000 in place and got her guaranteed. And she actually, now that I remember, she had another whole life policy already. So what she was actually looking to do was add some more coverage to leave behind for a loved one.
Okay,
So
awesome.
just the extra blessing that she wanted to leave on legacy side.
That's good stuff. And that, what type of lead was that?
That was an internet lead as well. I usually like to mix my 1 month internet leads with my new internet life, and I'll mix those up to give myself a little diversity in the leads, and can usually get the appointments I need with a little elbow grease.
Absolutely.
Some hard work.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, because sometimes I'll have new agents and they're having a rough time booking appointments, and it's almost like, it's easy to blame the lead, opposed to saying, okay, man, I must not be that good on the phone. I know one of the things is just getting better on the phone, so that way you can be able to book those appointments, even if they're difficult. Did either one of those clients, you recall how the appointment went? Was it pretty easy to book with them? Did any of them give you any pushback that you can remember?
Yeah, both had pushback. I believe Linda's pushback was, she was just, I really believe Linda didn't understand what the value of what she had. And she was just kind of like, hey, I already had those, I don't need it. And one of those types of clients that's just trying to brush you off, but I'm just like, hey, that makes my job easier, Linda. My job is just to get out there and get the information over to you, help you go over the eligibility, and then we can go from there. So definitely there was some pushback there. Cheryl, I think Cheryl had a little pushback too, just because she had already had a whole life policy. But again, hey Cheryl, that makes my job easier. I'm just a local underwriter. My job is just to get out there, get the information out to you, go over your eligibility, and help you see what you may qualify for. I just need about 10 minutes to do that. So
that's crazy. That's a major key. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to that. So both of the policies that we've gone over so far are individuals that basically over the phone didn't want you to come over. And people get out there and help both of them, right? And so, me as an agent hearing that, I'm like, that's encouraging. So that means when, I got somebody that's been a little difficult, if I could push through it, okay, that's perfect. That makes my job easier. They just pay me to come out there and go over it with you. If I can help you, great. If I can't, that's fine. It's no harm, no foul. That's just the way I say it to my clients when I get pushback. Then you're able to get out there and see one didn't have any coverage, they had something that they had let go, one had coverage but it wasn't enough and wanted more, and you were able to help both of them. That's awesome. I love
All right, and then the third one on Friday, that final sale that you did.
Oh yeah. Final sale Friday, Sharmisa, and wow, she was really going through a lot. Last appointment of the day, and again, as you always teach us, go to every appointment, especially your last appointment. And it's always that last one where there's this debate. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I have this inner battle after a long day in the field. Like, okay, this 7:38 p.m. appointment at the end of the day, an hour and a half from home. you know, but like,
Do I call and cancel those?
yeah, right. Do I reschedule this for tomorrow? Because I got this slot open tomorrow and I could just squeeze. But yeah, I made a commitment that I'm gonna go to every appointment, especially my last appointment of the day. I made that commitment to myself.
Yeah.
And to my client. So I got out there. She was home. She was looking for me, and I was able to sit down with her. She has 4 children, and her youngest son is they call him Baby Al.
Say that again.
Her youngest son, they call him Baby Al. It's short for
Baby
Al.
Al. Okay.
Yeah, cutest little guy, man. Just a little soldier, man. He's I'm just sitting there and in his playpen.
Yeah.
And she had 2 daughters, and then her older son is actually incarcerated right now, and so he's going through that time in life, the early 20s. But I sat down with her, and Baby Al's father actually died about a little less than a year ago.
Oh wow.
Last year, yeah. So she was really going through a lot, fixed income, single mother, and just trying to make ends meet, trying to do her best. So I was just able to sit down with her and find the need. She had experienced a couple loved ones dying. She had some death in the family, and she was just understanding that she didn't want to wait any longer to get some insurance in place.
Yeah.
She wanted to make sure that when she dies, her kids are safe. And so I was able to sit down with her. She was fairly young based on her age and health. I think she was in her late 30s, early 40s. I was able to get her approved in home for an Americo CBO for $100,000. She was real happy.
Good. Awesome.
Yeah.
And that's the 100% cash back. So 30-year plan, term plan, death, illness is covered in that 30 years. And then at the end of 30 years, she's alive and well, she gets all her money back.
Right.
At that point. That's awesome, man. That's good stuff. And just understanding the need. And then what type of lead was that as well?
Oh yeah, that was a internet lead. I believe that was a 1 month or a new internet life lead. There.
New internet life leads. Did you buy that on discount, or was that
I did actually. I got that one on discount. So that was one of the discounts I had rolled in for the leads. So yeah, and actually the discount for this batch of leads I'm dialing right now, I got all these at about 45% off. So I paid almost half the price for the leads. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. So what I love about it, and we'll touch on the last client from Saturday, but you're maximizing the discounts that are available on leads. You're using the internet, which are the most available leads, and you're going with the numbers, and you're just getting in front of the people that are ready, for you to be able to help them. And one of the things I can tell is you truly care about your clients, because you remember all these details about them, and that's for all of us. Yeah, I think clients can tell when you care versus when you're trying to sell them. And you have to really care about people doing this business. You can't just get in it for the money. The money's great, but you truly have to care about people and want to be able to help people, no matter what their situation may be, what they might be going through at the time. So that's awesome to see, Ken.
Yes, sir. Definitely, for sure.
And then the final sale you did on Saturday was a client a current client that you went and wrote some more business for. So initially, what type of lead was he initially on when you helped him with his first policy?
Yeah. So initially he was a mortgage protection client. So I helped him protect his mortgage, him and the wife. So Lawrence, we call him Eddie. He goes by Eddie. So Eddie, and then Cynthia, we call her Cindy. So Eddie and Cindy, and the original coverage that I was able to help them get approved for was the Mutual of Omaha Universal Life Index Universal Life Express.
Awesome. And that was to protect the mortgage. And then now Eddie had a policy that was, I think, expiring or something, and he wanted to get a new one in place so that way, he had coverage long term. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Wanted to get that a policy that was going to expire. It was a 10-year term, $1 million, and it was going to expire at 53. He had got approved for it when he was 43 at a smoker rate, but now
Okay.
he stopped smoking though. So
Awesome. So yeah, you were able to save him some money. So I want to share my screen real quick, because sometimes we do now. Majority of our clients, and Cam can testify to this. And for example, the 3 that he wrote on Friday, a majority of our clients are looking for a small coverage amount. They're typically going to be, employed or on some type of a fixed income. And so they don't have a huge budget. They're not trying to leave somebody $1 million. That's a majority of the people we work with. And so we just get them as much as they could fit within their budget to make sure there's something in place, whether it's to replace an income or cover a mortgage or cover final expenses. But then you do come across some clients that are looking for a little bit more. And in this case, Eddie was looking to replace $1 million policy that he already had. And Mutual of Omaha, this is their quoting tool. They have a great product. We don't use it a lot because, like I said, we don't come across these clients a lot. But the product that we end up using, and Cam called me while he was in the house, so we talked through it to find the best fit.
yeah, thank you
Talked
again.
about times.
Yeah, I called you about 10 times, right?
Yeah.
Appreciate it, brother.
No worries, man. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
So give me 1 second here. And then, the product is a Term Life Answers. Now, this product, you guys go ahead and log into Mutual of Omaha, read up on it. But I'll just kind of give you a quick summary. It covers up to, and it tells you here, this is a great thing where you don't have to know too much, but it goes up to 65 million in coverage in case you should ever have a client that wants that much. The minimum is 100,000. The thing with this product is that it is fully underwritten product in most cases. But if you have a client that's young and healthy, like pristine health, no health issues, then you can get this product issued without a medical exam. They'll just do a phone interview and they'll pull the MIB. Its phone interview is mandatory. You can't get around that, but they'll do a phone interview on the MIB and they can approve this policy. So this is the product that we end up writing for the client because he's healthy at his age. I think you said 48 or something like that.
Yeah, he was 49.
49. So 49 years old client, currently a non-smoker. You could do a standard rate, you could do a preferred rate or a preferred plus rate, just depending on the level of health. And you guys can call for help if you have any questions on that. But if you have any client that's looking for a higher coverage amount on a term, not a whole life, but just a straight term policy, and you could go anywhere from 10, 15, 20, or 30 years. It's a great product as long as they're healthy enough, because we like to keep it without a medical exam. Medical exam makes it 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks sometimes, depending on what's on the health history, and Mutual of Omaha can be kind of picky. So if you do have a client that's looking for a larger face amount, let's say this client here at 49 years old wants $1 million in coverage. Let's give him a preferred non-tobacco rate because he was completely healthy. So that rate, he could get $1 million term for 30 years for $328. Okay. Now it is $1 million in insurance. So that's why the price is higher based on his age and based on him being male. So that's an option for some clients. And you can get it approved again if they're healthy with just a phone interview and a MIB check. If they have some medical conditions, then it is going to go full medical. So, and it does not include any ROP option. This is just a straight term life insurance, like almost a fully underwritten product. So, again, I would only use this in cases where I have a client that's $1.5 million or more, and be able to get them a really low rate as long as they're healthy enough to qualify. So that's what we're able to do with this client, and put him in a position where he's good to go for the next 30 years, $1 million to the family. And I recommend too, as agents with what we do, and just overall, I think, I have $1 million policy myself, 30-year term policy.
for $1 million in addition to other policies. And so I would recommend, you having the same, because of what we do and we're trying to leave a legacy behind. Make sure you got to have something. And if you can, get $1 million policy on yourself as well. So,
Yes, sir.
all right. Anything else you want to share about that last client, Eddie?
No, that was it, Jermaine. Yeah, he was a great guy, just solid guy, pharmacist, technician, or actually pharmacist, I believe is the proper title. Just
Yeah,
taking good care, right, taking good care of his family, hardworking guy, late 40s, and just wanted to. I told him if I could put him in a better position, I would, and so that's what I did. I just wanted to
Good.
do everything in my power to put him in a better position. So we were able to actually, his original premium with that other term, granted he gets approved here, he would be saving about $100 on his monthly premium there, because right now he's paying $281 or so, and we were able to get that down, and it was around 185, 186 or so. So he was really happy about that. And not only that, we were able to move it from not only just being a 10-year term to a 20-year. So
20-year, perfect.
we were super happy about that. Gave him a lot of peace of mind. I say, granted, I always drop this line in there that, hey, Eddie, I'm just the underwriter. So we're doing our best to get you approved. The underwriters are going to do their checks, and they're going to give you a call for that phone interview. But God willing, we're hoping for the best, and we look to see for the approval here when it comes through. So,
Perfect, man. So that was a total of $6,800 in sales just in the 2 days, the first 2 days of the week.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a great week for you. And one of the things I want to say, you guys can go back to our YouTube page and see the progression of Cameron, from where he started to, first 2 weeks not selling anything, even though having a bunch of appointments, and then kind of hitting a little bump in the road, and then, decide, hey man, I'm gonna buckle down. I'm gonna commit to just putting in the work and learning my craft. And, there's this phrase that hard work beats talent, because, if talent doesn't work hard, and, Cam would be the first one to admit he's not talented. He's no sales guru, but the one thing Cam is a hard worker. And for anybody, that's what I like. It's a level playing field, because you get to decide how hard you want to work. And if you work hard here, you get rewarded. That's the only thing that it takes here. And if you're not having success, it's generally linked to the amount of work that you're putting in, right? And so if you guys have any questions, connect with Cam. Thanks for sharing, Cam. There's a question here in the chat. Let me answer this real quick. If you have any other questions, we got 2 minutes here. Let's just run through these questions. In the IUL, the cash values index, yes, it is. It's based on the S&P 500 index, and based on how that performs every year. At the end of the year, they get credited that interest through Mutual of Omaha. And then carrier will approve someone that's had a heart attack, a heart transplant 2 years ago. Great question. Let's jump into the handy dandy knowledge library real quick. Let's see if we could find an answer to that, guys. Let me think it's over here. Hold on one second. And if you have any other questions, drop them in the chat. We'll take another 1 or 2. I want to show you this instead of just telling you this, because that's how you learn how to fish. So the underwriting grid, Jeremy, under the in-home section of the knowledge library, automatically, if they've had a heart attack, we have to go with final expense. We can't do term, because term won't approve for heart attack. So if you go,
I wasn't aware of that, so that was my mistake.
no worries, man. But this is a good tip for everybody. So with the final expense grid, Dre, we got to complain about this internet connection in this building. See if they get it fixed. So if you go to the final expense grid, though, it will show you under heart attack. See if I can make this a little bit bigger. So you could scroll down, zoom in just a little bit. This should be showing up on you guys' side. Okay,
So you scroll down here, and then you got congestive heart failure. Let me see, what would you say the specific case was? Heart transplant.
Yeah, heart transplant due to heart disease.
Due to heart disease. Okay. Well, heart disease in general, let me see if we have it on here on the heart disease or transplant. I'm trying to find heart. Give me 1 second. Heart attack, heart surgery, heart valve replacement. So all of these are here. So you could kind of go based on
Okay.
these. Heart transplant would be considered a surgery. So this will give you a little bit of an idea. So if they had a heart surgery, typically this is more like a stent though, where they had to go in and put a stent in the heart. So it
Yeah.
tells you here, for example, Mutual of Omaha, if it's been within 1 year, it's declined. Within 2 years, it's graded. So that means if it's over 2 years, it wouldn't be an issue for heart surgery. But let's scroll down specifically to transplant, because I think we should have some transplant category on here. Let's see. But this just shows you organ transplant.
Organ
heart-
transplant.
Yeah. So decline, guaranteed issue with Americo, decline across
Got it.
the. So that lets you know that you could go Americo for their guaranteed issue or AIG, which will
AIG.
accept, which will accept anybody that's going to be declined by everybody else. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Perfect. And I'll definitely gonna refer to this
Yeah,
graph sheet.
There, yeah, absolutely. It'll give you some guidance. If you need clarification just to make sure you're going in the right direction, then you could always call the in-home helpline.
Right on.
Yeah, and so cancer-free, good question. We'll take this last question from Anthony. So he's wondering, hey, if I got a client that's been cancer-free for 5 years, what can I do? So let's open up the term grid first. Just do our process of elimination here. If it opens up. And a lot of agents, what they'll do, like I use this electronically, so I don't have to have it printed out, but you can print it out and that way you could, have it to flip through while you're doing your telesales or have it to flip through while you're in the house with your client. All right, this thing's not opening, so I'll just answer Anthony. What you'll see on the term grid is across the board, it's going to be declined for cancer ever on the term side of things. There's one carrier, Forsters Financial, who says if it's over 10 years, that they'll accept it. So that would be one option if it's over 10 years and there's been no recurrence. So you could look at it yourself if you can open up this grid and go down to cancer. So with that client being 5 years removed from cancer, it's definitely going to be final expense. And what you'll see is most final expense companies will cover as long as it hasn't been within the last 2 years. So you could look at both of these grids offline and be able to just verify that information since they won't open up because of my internet connection. So, but great question. Utilize those grids. They're going to give you some guidance, point you in the right direction. If you need clarification, then reach out to us. So guys, I'm excited about what we have going on. I'm excited to see all the new faces and agents getting going in the process. I will say this, and then we could finish up and we're going to continue down. But there's this phrase, I mentioned it to somebody recently on a recruiting call, where if it's up to be, it's up to me. And for me, what that means is that I'm not going to sit back and wait for anybody to, tell me what I need to do in my own business to be successful. I'm going to be on offense. This business is an offensive game. It's not a defensive game. You can't sit back and expect to figure things out. You have to be on the offense. You have to be saying, okay, what additional information do I need to know if I feel like I'm lacking information? Or what steps do I need to take? What action steps I need to take? And if you're not sure, ask, reach out. And ask for help and make sure you know everything you need to know. One of the areas that I see agents are missing currently from the conversations I've had over the last few weeks is, one, making sure that you're prepared as a new agent, especially, but even as a current agent, with knowing, okay, how do I run a quote? What products I have available through that insurance company? And how do I complete an e-application? That's something that you have to take the initiative and inquire about yourself, so that way you know exactly what to do, and you can do that directly with the insurance companies. When it comes to that sales process support. When it comes to applications and quotes, the insurance carriers always have their sales team on call. So you could call them, reach out and get some help. So just make sure you're on the offense, make sure you're being proactive, not just sitting back and waiting. The other one, I'll say this one lastly, is you're waiting for the carriers to approve you. No, call them. Hey, I submitted my appointment request with you guys. It's been 2 days. It's been 3 days. Hey, can you get this pushed through? I have pending business. I'd love to get some clients protected. What can we do to get this pushed through? So yeah, Alejandro, it is, if it's up to be, it's up to me. Take full responsibility for what's happening in your business, and let's go after it. If you need any help, reach out. Appreciate you guys hopping on this call.